Hello, one and all. Welcome to a shiny new podcast, Midnight Movie Mania. I am your host, John, and with me is my co-host, Spike.
Yay!
Hi. Right then, before we dig into the Rocky Horror Picture Show, I have to explain what a midnight movie is because I've had dozens of people asking me what in the hell is a midnight movie. So I googled it, and Google comes up with, quote, something that is from the 50s to the 80s that was shown in a drive-through or a cinema at midnight, or it was on American TV with a horror host such as Elvira. So that is the Google's definition of a midnight movie. It's basically a B movie, folks. I mean, anything that's camp, that's cheesy, that's not taking itself too seriously is a midnight movie. So that is what midnight movie is. I mean, I've had dozens of people ask me that, like, what's a midnight movie?
Well, I'm an American, so I know all about midnight movies.
I mean, I've done some interesting Googling this morning. I found out there's only 10 drive-thrus in Britain. There's
Really?
2. Yes, really. There's 2 in Scotland, 7 in England, and 1 in Ireland. So I was like, oh my God. So we don't have drive-ins in Britain. Well, we do, but they're very, 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 very spare.
Yeah, that's tragic. That is tragic.
I mean, I think I've got one about 50 miles away from here, and I have never been to. I would love to do it, but I don't drive and I don't have a car. So
I have one just south of the city from me, so it's like 15-minute drive.
I would love to do this thing, just sit in the car and I don't have to do it. I mean, do they have the speakers on the window still, or do they? I don't have the.
They do it both ways. They don't so much use the speakers anymore. They use the radio. So you tune into a specific station, and then you can listen to it that way. And that way you have stereo. You can,
interesting.
You have much better sound.
Interesting. Like I said, I have never been. I would love to go, but like I says, there's 10 in Britain. I was stunned how low that was. I was like, 10? Come on, really?
Oh yeah, that's terrible.
God Almighty. But like I says, I mean, I'm a huge fan of midnight movies or tongue-in-cheek movies. I mean, I love a good bad B movie. I mean, Vincent Price is the king of B movies in my eyes. So, I mean, this is why I'm doing this.
That man can take a terrible script and just turn it into art. He's absolutely amazing.
Yes, he is. Yes. I mean, some of his movies are clunkers, but he just forces it to be a good movie. So yeah. So let's get on to this little movie then. So where did you first see this thing?
I first saw it when I was in college, and it was in a theater here in Columbus. And so I had the experience of the whole audience participation thing and the, acting on stage in front of the screen and everything. I had literally no idea what the plot of this movie was by the end, though. It wasn't until I saw it like on video years later that I realized, that's what that movie was about. Because it's just chaos when you're in a theater watching.
Oh, yes. I mean, personally, I saw this thing for the very first time in the early 90s in high school in music. And it was the week before the summer holidays kicked off. So for that week, you're allowed to bring in movies. And the music teacher brought in Rocky Horror, The Blues Brothers, and for the life of me, I can't remember the third movie. I think it was Tommy. So that was an experience. We watched the 3 movies in the sort of block. And I hated Rocky Horror first saw it. I was like, this is just too much. It's just in your face. And I didn't like it at all. So, and then I had no idea about the audience participation thing until years later. I saw it in the theatre. And I was stunned at what they were doing. I mean, I was like, what the hell are they doing? What's that Rocky Horror Virgin? What's going on here? I hadn't a clue what was going on. And then I saw it again on TV late one night, as I got back from a night out, and I was kind of half drunk, and watched it. I went, this is fantastic. So then I watched it again and again, and I saw it in the cinema, I saw it in the theatre, and boom, I was then hooked.
Yeah,
So
yeah. It's one of those movies. It gets better every time you see it.
mm-hmm.
When I first saw it, I did not like it. I'm like, okay, this is a spectacle because of course I saw it, with the whole live audience thing. But the movie itself, I was like, what the heck is going on? What aliens? Where'd that come from? It's just like, and then I guess you get used to it, and so it's more enjoyable once you like when you become numb to all of the weirdness of it.
Yes, yeah. But yeah, like I says, I actually have a pressing of the original cast's soundtrack from, what was that, 70? God, was it 3 or 4 when it was on the theatre? And I played the shit out of that, and I was like, oh my god, I actually pissed off my ex because I played it so much, and he got really aggressive at it. So, so I'll have to ask, how many times have you seen this thing?
In total, once, twice. I saw it twice in the theater with the whole audience thing, and I've probably seen it 7 times just in the privacy of my own home. So,
Let's see, I've seen this about 4 times in the theatre, and it gets progressively more wild as the more and more productions are made of it. I've seen it about 3 times in the cinema, and the last time was utterly wild. Oh my god, it was ridiculous. I mean, once you see a 6-foot man or 6'6" man in fishnets and heels wearing the corset and the doodah, your mind is just blown. You're like, nope, I can't. Well, that brings me on to my other thing here. Would you ever do dress up for this, or have you done dress up for this?
I have not. I have not. I would. I would. I would.
Okay. I mean, I've tried.
I'll confess to that. I would.
I tried, God, when was it now? 2000 and, God, early 2000s. I tried getting the red corset from Ann Summers, and apparently didn't have my size. Shock. So I was like, could I have the balls to actually wear that out in public, walking in the streets of Glasgow without getting beaten up? I'm going to say no, but maybe as one of the Transylvanians, or as riffraff, or as a sort of normal character, I do think I'd have the balls to wear the heels and the fishnets and the garter belt and the corset and stuff. And I don't know if I had the balls to do that, but yeah, I would try it. Just
once. Just try, just once.
Yes, for shits and giggles. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. May never do it again, but just once.
Yeah. So let's talk about the sequel. Have you seen the sequel? Shock Treatment?
I have just once, and just like 2 days ago.
Yeah.
But I did see it.
So what's your thoughts on that one then?
I liked it. I mean, it was fun. It was different. It was completely different. Like totally different. I gotta say, I loved the opening shot. Just like how it just, the one smooth shot that kind of keeps going and going and going. That kind of drew me in right away. I was like, oh, this is gonna be interesting. So yeah, I will tell you that the overall cinematography of that one is far better than Rocky Horror.
Yes. I noticed that I watched Rocky Horror tonight, just before pressing record on this thing, and I noticed the editing is a bit, shall we say, rough on Rocky Horror.
I was going to say janky, but yeah, rough is good.
And some of the, I don't know, the way the shots go are a bit, so I'm not sure. But I think that's the whole point. It's meant to be a bad movie. It's meant to be in your face, balls to the wall, have this thing, and it's meant to be a good bad B movie. Hence the song "Science Fiction Double Feature." It's the amalgamation of all things sci-fi. So, and all things bizarre and weird and camp and queer and God knows what. It's maybe that's the point of it. Maybe that's why it's so janky, as you put it.
And the point of shot treatment was to be more smooth, more televised, more put together, so to speak.
Yeah. Although apparently that was supposed to be based in the town of Denton, not just a studio, because they had a writer's strike and they couldn't go outside, so I had to have it in a one place. That's why all things happened in the one studio in Denton. So that would have been interesting to see if the townsfolk of Denton would interact with Brad and Janet, because it's supposed to be that nobody believes their story of aliens, and that's why Brad gets took into a nut house in essence to get shock treatment, hence the name shock treatment. But because of the writer's strike, they couldn't do that. They had to do it in a condensed set, hence it's a one set. And they got, I think it was like half the original cast back. The only person that didn't get back was, Rocky himself, Frankenfurter, and I think that was it. The rest of them were back.
Yeah, well, Brad and Janet.
Yes.
Different.
Well, different, but same characters, but different,
Same characters, yeah.
Yes.
But yeah, I did like how they brought in some of the side characters. What's the couple that got married in, the beginning of Rocky Horror?
Yes.
Came back in shock treatment. I thought that was a nice touch.
Yeah. I like the fact that, is it Ruby Wax plays because they're divorced and he's cheating on her with the blonde television executive, and she's trying to fire into a professor or a judge? That's what it was, Judge Wright.
Yeah, that's right. I think he was a judge. Yeah, that was a weird. That took me a while to figure out what that was.
I mean, when I first saw this thing, my jaw hit the floor when I saw Barry Humphries, aka De Medina.
Yes.
I was like, what in the...
And he sold it. I would tell you, he just sold it. He did, I mean, and that's one thing about I have to say about shock treatment is as intentionally campy as it was, I think every single actor just really brought their A game to this total camp script that was put in front of them. I thought they did great considering what they were trying to create.
Yeah. Okay then, so let's talk about Rocky Horror itself then. I'll do a quick cast rundown just in case nobody knows the cast. We have Tim Curry in one of his most iconic roles. We have Richard O'Brien. We have Susan Sarandon, Barry Boswick, Patricia Quinn, Nell Campbell, Meatloaf, Charles Gray, and Peter Hindwood in his, I think it was his last movie. I think he'd done like 3 movies. I think he did. And then that was it. He never done anything else. I guess he blames this movie for killing his movie career because nobody could see him as a, quote, straight actor. That you saw him as this, I don't know, love toy, if you want to call him that. So, Right, so let's talk about the characters quickly themselves. First, we have Frankenfurter, played by Tim Curry. Now, is this his most iconic role, would you say?
I would challenge that and say it was his most iconic role. But this is a close second. This is a close second in my mind, anyway.
Okay. Because for me, it's a toss-up between Pennywise and Frankenfurter. There's a toss-up between they two. I would say his most iconic role. But yeah, maybe the devil from what the hell was that movie called again? We always call it the Timothy movie in the house. What was that called again? Oh, I can't remember the top of my head. I forgot. Anyway, moving on. So then we have Riff Raff, played by Richard O'Brien. I'm not sure about him. He seems to be a bit overly aggressive in this movie. I thought. I mean, he's supposed to be the butler / second command.
Yeah, I got confused by the end. Is he the commander? Is he not the commander? I was like, okay, just try not to think too much.
Yeah, yes, exactly. And then we have his sister / lover, Magnietta, Kieran, played by Patricia Quinn. I've got down here, she is a complete, utter mega bitch. Because every scene she's in, she's always sniping at somebody. She's going, oh, you're lucky. Where am I? Oh, lucky. And she's acting like a complete stuck-up bitch. Even at the end, when she's dishing out the food, she just throws the food around the table when we're eating some meatloaf, you know?
Oh, yeah.
And then we have Janet, played by Susan Sarandon, the girl next door turned slut. Now, I don't get her character at the start of this movie. She's all like, oh, wait, I'm going to faint constantly. Oh, Brad, get me out of here. And I'm going, is that people? But when was this set, by the way? I can't quite finger when this is set.
I have no idea. I did like, I think she kind of played that kind of flimsy 50s, you know, side character woman that, you know, every 50s, 60s movie seemed to have, you know. You know, this damsel, not necessarily in distress, but, you know, just this, you know, oh no, we can't, you know, I don't know.
Yeah.
Easily, you know, an easy screamer and easy fainter, you know. And then she was not that by the end of the movie.
Yeah, and it's a complete, utter, oh, Brad, oh, Dr. Scott, and all that stuff in the whole, oh, Rocky. Actually, I hate Muscle Men, and she goes and sleeps with him, and I'm going, yes. So speaking of which, we have Brad, played by, oh, God, I've got his name now, Barry Boswick. My brain just went. The all-American boy next door turned into a man whore. I mean, oh my God, I love the fact that the very first thing we see him in, he's in the suit, the tuxedo with the hideous tartan, what is that, cummerbund? Is that what they call these things?
Oh, yeah, cummerbund.
Yeah, and he's such a stiff in this. And then at the end of it, he's down to his tidy whities and his legs are in the air and he's going, oh, sort of stuff. I love the progression of that. It goes from stiff to stiff, you know?
Yeah, that was it's quite a transformation.
Yeah, it's quite a transformation. I mean, I just love that one. And then we have Columbia, the dancing maid, played by Nell Quinn. And I have to say, I find her annoying. Everything about her is annoying. From the voice, from the outfits, from her singing voice. I can't stand her character. From the fact she screams everybody's name like Eddie, you know, and she's going, oh my God, I just can't stand her character.
I have a hard time with her singing voice because I can't understand what she's singing. And
yes.
I'm like, you have to read her lips and you have to listen really close to understand what the heck she's singing. And sometimes it's like really important and you have no idea.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was the same way in Shock Treatment when she sang in that.
Yes.
I have no idea what you're singing right now.
Yeah. I mean, like I says, if she brought her voice down just a few octaves, it would have been a perfect. But she has this thing. She's going, touch me, I want to feel dirty, and it's going. It sounds like a drowned screaming rat. Can you dial it down a touch? I mean, and then we have her boyfriend Eddie, played by Meatloaf, who I've got down here is completely wasted in the role because he has one song and he's, you know, killed off.
It's almost like they were like, hey, we just got a message that Meatloaf wants to be in the movie. He's available tomorrow. Write him in. You know, and that's kind of how it felt. Like he was just there and then he was gone, and then, you know, he had this kind of connection later on, but not really. You know, it was weird.
Yeah. From what I understand, he was in the original cast. He played Eddie / Dr. Scott. It's supposed to have a slightly older makeup as Dr. Scott, and I don't know what happened to him because what he was supposed to play the two parts. Then they went, no, let's have him as the nephew, and then let's have another actor playing Dr. Scott. So I don't know, but this is just before Meatloaf became a Meatloaf, Bat out of hell and such. But I've got to say, I don't like his voice either. It's too high pitched for my liking.
I love Meatloaf. I love me some Meatloaf. So
yeah, but
I can't say anything bad. But considering, how, when we see him later in like Fight Club and stuff, and you really see how much he was wasted in this movie. When you see him later, and oh my gosh, this guy can actually, act really well, and wasted on this.
Yeah. Then we have his replacement, Rocky, played by Peter Hindwood. I've got down here Plaything Idiot, who was dubbed and wasn't told he was dubbed until it was on the screen. So, oh dear, that's not his singing voice.
I was wondering now as the credits went by. That's the last time I watched it, and wondering, okay, are they gonna say if he sang or not? And it never said anything. I was like, I wonder if that's him. Can he sing? Do we even know?
I'm going to go with no, because if he was dubbed and he was...
then he was not good. Well, Susan Sarandon wasn't dubbed and she can't sing, so...
Yeah, well, that's true. That's very true. Although in saying that, she tried her best, bless her, but it's not the best. Apparently, Peter Hindwood was forced to dye his hair blonde. He wanted to keep it his natural brunette. So or brown rather, he was forced to dye it blonde, and it's peroxide blonde, and he hated that haircut. So there we have that.
See, it works. Him being blonde works. It works because he has to be the blonde beach Californian guy.
Yes, the blonde hair and a tan, in just 7 days I can make you a man. Yeah. But yeah. Like I say, the interesting about him also was the gold hot pants were bought for about 50 pence and were sold for about $3,000. So really? There you have that one.
Oh wow! I would have bought them for $3,000.
On to the criminologist, played by Charles Gray, who will always be Blofeld in my eyes. He was Blofeld in Diamonds Forever. Now the Bond film with the White Cat.
Oh gosh, yeah. Okay, yeah.
So
I knew I saw him somewhere. I knew I've seen him somewhere before, but I didn't know where. Okay, that explains that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he will ever be Blofeld the fourth actor to play Blofeld. So he will always be Blofeld in Diamonds Forever in my eyes. So when I first saw this thing and he's doing time warp, my mind was blown. I was like, what in the...
that makes that scene even better now that I make that connection.
Yeah, when he's on the desk doing a time warp, I was like, what in the oh my god. And then we have Dr. Scott, and I forgot the actor's name rather. I've done here, is he actually a Nazi? So because they call him Von Scott and he does the whole thing, so
Oh, that's what that meant. I was confused by that. Interesting. I wonder if that's true.
See, this is why I want to know when this is set. If it's set during the 50s, that would make sense, because if he's a former Nazi, then he was poached from, I don't know, the death penalty and stuck in with the NASA to do the soul space stuff. So, if it's set in the 50s, then that makes sense.
But of course, their station wagon was a 70s.
Was it now?
70s. It was a 70s Pontiac.
Oh, right. Okay then. Yeah. I mean, I know on the radio they talk about Richard Nixon, which makes this is 69 to 74. Yeah. Was it 70?
That's right. I forgot about that too.
But on a criminologist table, there's a picture of, oh my God, what's his name? Lyndon Johnson. Was that the president before Nixon? No, Nixon was. Yeah. No, because one before that would have JFK.
Yeah.
Was it JFK? Oh, see, I'm terrible with American presidents. So.
JFK. It was JFK. Then Johnson took over for JFK.
Right.
after JFK died because he was vice president, and then it would have been Nixon after that.
Okay,
I'm pretty sure. Don't quote me on that, but it sounds right.
Yeah. So like it says, in the criminal just tape desk, there's a picture of President Johnson. So that makes it what, the late 60s then?
Late 60s, but they were not driving a late 60s car, that's for sure.
Okay then. So let's talk about the songs. Now, of all these earworm songs, what is your personal favorite?
Oh gosh, I was actually thinking about this when I was watching the movie, and the opening song is always gonna probably be my fave, but the Time Warp is what we always play at every single Halloween party around here. So, it's gotta be one of those two.
For me, it has to be with Frankenfurter's song. The one that goes, you got cover of a flat. Well, how about that? I'll get you a satanic mechanic. I'm just a sweet trans. That song. And maybe
I remember the first time I heard that song was on Dr. Demento when I was like in high school, like early high school, might have even been junior high. I heard that song and I'm like, what is this?
Oh my God, amazing. But what I don't get right, Tim Curry did his own makeup and refused to let any makeup artist touch his face at all, and refused to dress him. So that was all his own items on the leather jacket and on the various other things, the corsets and such, and the stockings and the panties and such. So he refused to let the dressers dress him, which I find interesting.
Yeah, well, he did. I'm glad they didn't dress him because he did a really good job on his own.
I mean, yeah, I love the detail they have on his jacket, all the little pins and such, and the various other things. Same with Eddie. Eddie's outfit is just way OTT. I mean, with the love hate and the rings and the leather jacket and the Eddie t-shirt, which I never noticed until today. He actually was wearing a t-shirt that says Eddie on it, which I was like, okay then, interesting.
And I loved the love and hate on his fingers, because it looked like it was drawn on with a big ballpoint pen. It really did not look like a tattoo at all.
No. I love the fact he's got a big dirty big scar across his head, and I'm going, what happened there? Then explained later on in the movie. The brain was split in two between him and Rocky, but Rocky doesn't have the.
I didn't know how that worked either. Okay, split in two, but how? Who ended up with what? Where's the other half?
Yeah. But like I says, there's a few songs I'm not particularly keen on. One of them is a Sword of Damocles. I can't stand that song. It's
Which
just
one?
the way the Sword of Damocles, the one that Rocky sings when he comes out of the water coffin thing.
Oh yeah.
I'm not a fan of that one. And I'm not a fan of Roast at My World. I think that's a bit too much.
Which one is that?
The last song that Frankenfurter sings, where he goes, I'm going home. What the hell was that going? I mean, move on. Sorry.
It didn't fit. It definitely didn't fit.
But bringing up the Time Warp, I was not a fan of the Time Warp because in the 80s, when it was re-released as a sort of 80-fied version of it, it was everywhere at every single school disco, every single school party, everybody's birthday party. This thing was everywhere, and I could not stand the bloody Time Warp. It's like, feck off with the Time Warp. I mean, it was everywhere, and it was an earworm and a half. And then I watched it in context, and I went, that's where it came from, this thing. And it sort of ticked me off. I'm going, is this where it came from? So,
Time Warp, I don't know. I have fond memories of just being with people and dancing to that and stuff. Though it was post 80s, so I don't know. I don't remember it being anything before I started hearing it at like Halloween parties in the 90s. Even though obviously it had been long before that it had been around. But I never heard an 80s version of it, though.
Oh, it
I've
is
only ever
terrible.
heard the album version.
Oh my God, it's terrible. It's just abysmal. But yeah, like I
I'll
say,
have to look that up. I'll have to look that up and see how abysmal it is, just for fun.
oh my God. Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong here. I do have memories of in a gay bar dancing to Time Warp for about 15 people all in a row, sort of thing, lined up in rows, and we're doing the Time Warp, and it was still, and it's like, oh my God, this is surreal sort of thing. I mean, we're just all doing this thing. It was like, oh my God. But yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah, we would do that too. Yeah, but except straight people. But yeah, even the straight people do it.
Yes. I mean, that's the whole point of this movie.
That's
Is
right.
don't dream it, be it. So do it. I mean, that's what I liked about this movie. Is it's unashamedly camp. It is in your face, and it doesn't give a rat's arse. It's take it for what I am, or don't take me at all. I don't care. Moving on. Or it's arms are wide open. Go, come to me. I'll show you the absolute pleasure sort of thing. As Frankenfurter puts it. Once you've had.
And it was 1975, so it was like it was. Nowadays, it would none of that would be like, as shocking or as a big deal or whatever. But back in 1975, I mean, sure, though, I mean, part of it was the fact that they were spoofing some of the Hammer films, which dealt with a lot of, that sort of thing. But yeah, I look at it today and I'm like, gosh, that was like, that's definitely midnight movie material.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, as I said, I was watching tonight with my partner, and he asked me, why is Susan Sarandon fainting when she sees Frankenfurter coming down the elevator shaft with the heels and the big long cape? And I'm going, this is supposed to be set in the, I'm guessing, 60s, 50s, 60s. So, of course, she's going to be shocked with a man wearing 6-inch heels and the makeup and the wig and the corsets and this stuff. Of course, she's going to be stunned because she's a conservative. She's a straight down the middle of the road. So, I mean, it's not like today when it's fun to walk down the street like that, when you're like twice. Well, certain places you would, but I'm not going to say that. But you know what I'm saying? I mean, the world is a completely different place where it was in the 70s or even the 60s.
Yeah, you wouldn't bat an eye I wouldn't bat an eye if I saw somebody like Frankenfurter walking down my street. Really, well, I live in a very progressive city, but still, it wouldn't faze me.
Yeah. Like I says, I've seen 6'6" men in the corsets and the heels and the fishnets and the garter belts and you name it, and I'm like, okay then. So once you've seen that, nothing shocks you, nothing scares you.
Exactly. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but it doesn't shock us anymore.
I mean, I've seen people wearing fishnets and corsets that have no reason to wear a corset. You're like, no, don't wear that. No. And it's, you're like, oh my God, with the green surgical outfit sort of thing. I'm like, I'm glad to be. I remember, when was it now? 2006. I was going to see it in the theatre, and I was on the underground or a subway, and there was a guy next to me who's wearing the Rocky outfit. All he was wearing was the boots and the gold top pants. I'm going, oh my God, you have some balls, and I can see them. I was going, you have some balls. You're on an underground in Glasgow city centre, heading towards Glasgow city centre to go to the theatre, and all you're wearing is gold hot pants and boots. You have, I mean, so
that's impressive.
I mean, at least put a coat on or something, because it's Glasgow, it's cold. I mean.
Did you offer him your jacket?
Yeah, well, I was sort of shy and timid, going, there's a guy over there wearing gold hopper, with the blonde wig on, and I'm going, So yeah.
Here, have my hanky, and we'll just put it over your crotch area. Okay, bye-bye.
Oh my God. But yeah, like I says, I mean, standing in a pub once the theatre empties out trying to get served, and there's guys wearing 6-8 inch heels, and you're going, what's the word up there, like, sort of thing, because I'm quite short, and these guys are like towering above me, and I'm going, wow. Oh my god. All right. One thing I want to know: do you think this movie is problematic?
Not for what it is, no.
Yeah, because I've heard a few rumors and a few rumblings on like TikTok and Twitter and Instagram and such. This is problematic, he says, using air quotes, because they use the word transvestite, and they say that's a problematic word and it should be called tranny. Now, in my eyes, tranny is a worse word than transvestite or transsexual. So,
yeah, I've always felt tranny was an unpleasant word.
Yeah. I mean, it's the same with queer. To me, that's a problematic word because queer was a slur up until, 5-10 years ago, and now it's been turned into a sexuality. So, I'm not sure.
I always felt that way too about queer until being bisexual myself. There's no word for bisexual. You know what I mean? Like homosexual has gay. Homosexual woman has lesbian. Bisexual, we have to use the sexual term. You know what I mean? Instead of queer. So I say queer more than bisexual. Though if I tell anybody, I don't say I'm queer, I say I'm bisexual. But when I'm referring to that. But as far as queer culture, it allows me to be a part of the queer culture as opposed to gay culture.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Because I'm not a part of gay culture.
Yeah, well, that's fair enough. But my problem was queer from the 80s to the I would say mid-noughties was a slur. Oh my god, you're a queer, or oh my god, you're a fag, or oh my god, you're this, that, next thing. And I'm like, but now it's a whole umbrella term for anything that's not straight in the middle sort of thing, you know.
Yeah.
But for me, this is not problematic. The other thing saying, oh my god, they make transsexuals and transvestites and gay guys killers, and I'm going, but they're aliens. They're not human.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think it's just and it was 1975 too. I mean, they didn't have another word for transvestite or they didn't even have transgender. Didn't even exist back then. They were called something else. So you kind of have to work with the language that you're given at the time.
Yes, exactly. It's the same problem I have with Psycho. Psycho was deemed problematic because it shows drag queens, in essence, as killers. I'm going, but he's not a drag queen. He's not transsexual. He's not transgender. He is schizophrenic. He's got two personalities. He's bipolar. I mean, or if you want to put it that way, I mean, was it gender identity disorder, as it is called today? He is not transsexual. He is not transgender. He is a man who's his mother and he himself. So, I mean,
he's not a drag queen. He's just disturbed.
Yes. But anyway, moving back to this thing, I've got down here mentioned the dance. So we've already talked about the time warp. So, although the dancing in this thing is a bit, shall we say, shaky, because the way it's edited, it's a bit all over the shore. Especially I've noticed that.
You can't get a sense for, you don't get a sense for the dance, I guess. The editing is weird. The dancing is not great to begin with, so maybe they were editing it to make it look better. That's possible. Because the guy that plays Rocky can't dance himself out of a paper bag.
No. I mean, I noticed how choppy the editing is when Frankfurter is singing the second version of I'll Make You a Man. 1 minute, Rocky's standing there and he's flexing. The next minute, he's got Vaseline on it. Next minute, he's got it covered in oil. I'm going, where did it come from?
I thought, see, that was when he was working out with the weights, see, and he was working for sweat, and so
I
there
see.
we go.
I see.
I
Okay,
don't
so
know if that's true, but it sounds good.
yeah. So it's sweat. It's not Vaseline or it's not oil. It's sweat. Okay, then.
That's right.
Okay.
Sweat.
One thing I will say about Susan Sarandon has issues with this movie because apparently for years after it, she was called a slut because of the whole audience participation thing of this whole midnight movie feel of this. And
Yeah.
I'm thinking, well, it's a character. It's not actually Susan herself. It's Janet. What's her name? Janet Weiss, who goes from prissy virgin who doesn't even go into heavy petting because it leads to seat wetting, and, you know.
She should have known what she was getting into, I'll tell you that.
Yes, and then she wants to be touched because she's what's the main attraction sort of thing. But I don't think it was fair for the public to label her as a slut, which is why I said she has a problem with this movie sort of thing.
But it's just, I mean, the audience participation is just the reason that she doesn't get labeled that. She just gets called that in the audience participation. I don't know if it's a label. It's just that's what they shout at her when she's on the screen. Okay, I guess it is kind of a label. You're right.
Yeah, it's a label.
I can see how she could be upset by that.
Oh, speaking of which, have you actually done the audience participation thing with the toast and the water guns and the rice and the playing cards and such?
Yeah, since the first time I went to, I've not done, I did the shout out stuff, but I didn't do any of the other rice throwing or anything. A lot of theaters nowadays don't allow you to do stuff like that because the mess it creates. Although if it does happen, usually the actors stay back and clean up after the show. But yeah, a lot of theaters don't allow a lot of that anymore. At least the one here in Columbus doesn't.
Like I says, when I first saw it in the theatre, not the cinema, the theatre, I was stunned that people are throwing rice and throwing toast and throwing cards around and water pistols and lighters and God knows what. I'm going, what is happening here? I mean, because usually I just sit and watch it on my TV and sing along to it sort of thing and do the whole slut after the stuff because it's on the DVD track and such. But I never knew about the throwing toast and throwing the cards and the water pistols and the little newspaper hat sort of thing. I was like, what is happening here? And who cleans this up? You know?
That's why I had such a hard time following the plot. It's not a great plot, but I had such a hard time following the plot because all this stuff is happening around me. You're just like, wait, what? You know?
Yeah. I mean, what else I've got down here? I've got down here, was Riff Raff actually in charge, or was Frankenfurter? Because they call him the commander, and then he goes, I am your commander. We're going home. You're not. You're going to stay in spirit at least, and shoots him with his laser gun thing. So who's in charge?
It almost seemed okay because I was thinking about this actually when it was happening. And it seemed like Frank was just like, didn't know that he was the commander all this time and that he just thought he was a servant, and suddenly he realizes, oh my gosh, he's the man in charge and he's been putting me on all this time. This is definitely the end. You know what I mean? That's kind of what I was thinking. It really didn't make sense. My brain was desperately trying to make sense of it. But that's kind of what I was thinking. But I'm probably wrong.
Okay.
Because it almost seemed like he was like, now I'm in charge. So it could have been that too. So I'm taking over. I wasn't sure. Either he's taking over or he has been in control all along. I have no idea.
Yeah, because I've read some interesting theories that actually Magetta is in control. She is in charge, and she's telling Riff Raff what to do to backstab Frankenfurter, who thinks he's in charge, but he's obviously not, because he's just the mad scientist, because he makes his own creation, aka Rocky. And I've got in here, is Frankenfurter the ultimate mad scientist?
he kind of is, because he's that typical failed mad scientist that, he tries to create something that he's never going to be able to create. He kind of gets success, but it fails miserably. And then he fails in the end, and he goes down with the ship.
Yeah. I mean, think about it. But he takes what happens in Frankenstein, aka Dr. Frankenstein wants to create man, which he does in Rocky, and he takes the whole what's his name, James Whale performance, and goes bananas with it. He takes it from there and goes, "Oh, I'll show you camp," and expands it. So he makes himself a fuck buddy, so to speak, or a plaything. And then I love the fact how he actually takes him into his boudoir, and next time you see Rocky, he's chained to the bed. I'm like, okay then, so it's taking it way beyond what Frankenstein did, and he's where you created man. Moving on. I mean,
I liked the chains on the bed though, not because it fed into the whole sexual aspect of his, the reason why he was created, but also it fed into the whole Frankenstein mythos too. Him, this chained monster kind of thing, which I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah,
he got out of those chains very easily.
Yes, exactly. I mean, Riff Raff hits him with a candle. He scares him with, and that's it. He just runs off the chains. I'm going, but you're chained to the.
He's like, fire.
Yes, fire.
I thought that was a very clever little aspect of it. Fire. Like Frankenstein. Fire. It was great.
Yeah. Although I do love the fact that Eddie is the Frankenstein monster, half of it, whereas Rocky is the perfect man side of it, sort of thing, because Eddie's rough around the edges and he's a brute and a beast, whereas Rocky is just the perfect specimen of a man sort of scenario. I like that. But although, what was that thing around Meatloaf's neck? Was that a tuning fork that he had on the little chain thing he was wearing? What is that thing? I'm going, what is that? Is that a tuning fork?
No idea.
Because I've watched this thing about 60 times. I have no idea what the hell that thing is. I'm going, what is the weird Y shaped thing? I'll go, is that a tuning fork? But yeah, that was an interesting theory that I read the other day, that Frankenfurter is the ultimate mad scientist because it worked, and he created not one perfect man but two perfect men until he created, well, I don't know, because they say that Columbia was Eddie's girlfriend, but then she says, no, you dumped me for Eddie. So what was I didn't get that one. So
because they explained this at some point, because I remember thinking it was kind of quite a progression, because she and Frank were a thing, and then Eddie entered the picture, and then she and Eddie were a thing, but then Frank, getting jealous of that situation, used Eddie for his brain and ended up using his brain for his experiment in order. So basically, he ended up stealing Eddie from her. That was what I garnered from the dialogue, as brief as it was.
And then she goes insane because Frank basically killed her, I don't know, lover, what Eddie was to her boyfriend. So because there's the whole bit where she starts singing about, I almost loved you, Eddie, and she's got all pictures of Eddie on the wall and such, and there's things over her room. I'm going, okay then. Which brings you to
it was just like, just almost, because he's plastered all over your bedroom.
Yeah. Which brings me to another interesting point. The Easter eggs in this movie, they're everywhere. I mean, in her bedroom, there's a Bee Gees album just sitting. I mean,
I never saw that before. That's awesome.
And in the criminologist's room, where he's flicking through the book he has, there's a picture of Fantastic Tales in the book. So I'm going, okay.
Yes, I saw that. Yeah,
and I'm pretty sure there's dozens more Easter eggs, like Columbia wearing the Mickey Mouse ears. I'm going, okay then. How did you get it past Disney? So,
Interestingly, speaking of Disney, when Disney bought 20th Century Fox back in the day, Rocky Horror was the only one that they didn't put in the vault. It's the only one that Disney did not put away.
Interesting, because
in fact, it's the longest running theatrical release ever.
Yes.
Since 1975, it's never been closed. It's never put it away.
Yeah, I was about to say that Rocky Horror Picture Show has been shown every single month since 1975 in certain cinemas in New York, constantly since 75, all the way up to, I think it was 2020 they stopped doing it, but it may be back since the pandemic is now over. So, I'm just wondering how much.
It's run here since the 90s, since when I first started coming, and it had been here long before that. Run constantly.
Interesting. I just wonder how much money this movie actually made then, because I know in the 70s it flopped, and it didn't become famous until like the early 80s, and then it became a midnight movie, and then it was loved and adored, and the gays latched onto it, and then the rest of the world latched onto it, and then it's a massive phenomenon. It's a cult phenomenon.
Yeah.
So
well, apparently there's a scene in the movie Fame about going to see Rocky Horror at a midnight showing.
Okay.
I've never seen Fame.
Nope.
But apparently there's a scene in it about Rocky Horror, and that rejuvenated the whole Rocky Horror thing in the 80s.
Okay then. So maybe that's where it started then.
Partly where the jump in the 80s happened was after Fame came out.
Interesting. I mean, I'll tell you right now, there's only about 5 musicals I will watch, and this is one of them, because I am not a fan of musicals. They're just spontaneous singing for no bloody reason. It's like, no. But like I said,
I like me a good musical, but most of them I do not like. So this is one of the ones that I do enjoy.
Like I said, there's about 5. Let me see: The Blues Brothers, both Greases, this, and that's about it.
Hairspray.
Oh yeah, I forgot Hairspray. Yeah, I forgot about that one. Yeah, the original Hairspray, not the remake. Remake's a bit.
The remake? So you mean the movie remake?
Yes, the Hairspray remake.
The original Hairspray was really good. I love the music.
Yes. But the remake of Hairspray is a bit.
Did they do a remake of the musical?
Yes, with 2000 and God, was it 7? It came out. With Zac Efron and John Travolta and Michelle Pfeiffer.
Yeah, that's the one I like.
All right, because I'm a fan of the original one. What was that, 1980? God, what was that, 81, 82 when that came out?
Yeah, a long time ago. Yeah, the original movie was excellent. The one that had what's her name?
Ricky Lake. Yes.
Thank you, Ricky Lake.
Yes, Ricky Lake and John Waters and Divine. I've got the name of the drag queen there, Divine. So yeah.
And the remake, I love the musical. The stage version is great too.
Okay, I haven't seen the stage version, but yeah. I've not seen it. Did you see the 2006 live TV version of Rocky Horror?
Yeah, yes, I did.
So what did you think of it?
It was not good. It was not good. I didn't like it. I mean, they kind of had to water it down a bit for TV for one thing, and it was just, it was not good. I wanted to like it, but I did not.
No, that's fair enough. Like I says, I watched it and I went, no, this is not a patch on the original. I get you have to tone it down for, what was it, Disney or something like that, where it showed that thing. But no. Although I will say, Rocky Horror Picture Show is on Disney Plus in Britain, so technically Frankenfurter is a Disney princess.
As well he should be.
Yes. Or is he a Disney villain? I mean.
Nah, princess, totally princess.
Oh dear. I'm trying to think what else. we can discuss about this movie. I mean, I'm trying to avoid going plot for plot. Just talk about the thing. And although one thing I want to know, the very end, where they teleport the house back to the planet of Transylvania in the galaxy of Transsexual, what was going on there? Because Janet and Brad drag Dr. Von Scott out of the house and sort of lie on the lawn, and then there's bikes around them. Why is there bicycles around them? Because
no, it's because for some reason now this confused me as well. It's the pieces to his wheelchair.
Is it?
It's like his wheelchair had fallen apart underneath him, and it makes no sense whatsoever. Because, like, why did it fall apart? Because we didn't see that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't understand that.
Yeah. I mean,
and I don't know why they were writhing about either. I didn't understand.
Oh, one thing I will say, talk about wheelchairs. Meatloaf wasn't actually the one driving the motorbike in the movie because he couldn't drive the motorbike at the time. So he was sitting in a wheelchair as he's singing his up close stuff. So the other bit is a stunt driver. So interesting fact for you there. That's Meatloaf in a wheelchair.
I can see why he wouldn't want that to get around.
And apparently, when he was originally cast, he was not having none of it. He went, nope, I don't want this because I'm a Texan. I'm a proud, straight Texan. You will not get me in the fishnets. You will not get me in the garter belts, the corsets, the blah, 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 blah. And then he read the script and went, I'll do it. So on the stage show I'm talking about. So they gave him the role of Dr. Scott and Eddie. So that's why he's got the fishnets on at the end of the movie sort of thing. So once he was given the freedom to do what he wanted to do, he did it. So I say bravo to Meatloaf. I mean, he faced his own insecurity and went, fuck it, I'm going to do it.
Yeah. Which is very Meatloaf, so I'm surprised that he would even say no to that to begin with.
I mean, the other thing I found quite interesting is I watched tons of interviews about Rocky Horror Picture Show, and Richard O'Brien says there was a stuntman used for the end stunt where Rocky and Frank fall from the RKO tower into the pool, and the stuntman was a bodybuilder, and he was macho and straight as oh, I've got to do this, I'm going to do that, and apparently he was all macho and such, and then he put on the corset and the fishnet and the heels. And it goes, no heels. This is why Rocky has no heels when he climbs up the tower. Sort of thing.
Interesting.
And apparently Richard O'Brien was gutting himself laughter because this big straight guy's going the whole macho thing with the puffed out chest sort of thing, and going, I'm straight, damn it. And he's in the wig and the lipstick and the makeup and the corset and the fishnets. And I'm going, wow, that must have been a sight. I mean... So he scales up the tower and does the stunt once, and just that was it. So that one.
I did like the climbing of the tower. I thought that was
Yeah. Also, I read years ago that Barry Bosmick almost drowned in the pool because he get tangled up in the Feraboa things, and he was dunked underwater, and he almost died, almost drowned in the pool. So. Okay then.
Wow. Well, he did a very good acting job during that. He didn't look like he was afraid at all.
Nope. I want to see now, off the top of my head, Susan Sarandon had pneumonia due to being filmed in that actual castle, which is now a hotel, I believe. And there was no heating, no hot water. So she was constantly shivering cold because she was constantly wet. So she ended up with pneumonia. And towards the end of it, she was delirious, apparently. So when she's doing the whole the end song, which is in the whole makeup thing with a white, what is it with a white face in the circle? I never got that myself. Anyway, she was almost delirious doing that thing. So I'm going, wow, you're a trooper, love. I mean,
yeah, I'd heard that too. I've heard that she had pneumonia during that, and I was like, oh my gosh, she's a trooper.
And the other thing that I found quite interesting, little Nell, the outfit she wears at the end when she's singing the what the hell that song is. They stick out off the top of my head. The reason why her boobs fall out is because that corset wasn't designed for her. That was designed for somebody else. And she just took the corset and went, I'll put this on. And she wears, so she had a nip slip. But she didn't know about it until the first time she saw it on a big screen. So, Karen.
I just assumed that. I just assumed that it was intentional because it was just so obvious. Because clearly she didn't fit in that corset. So I just figured that she was. Yeah, I did notice that though. I did notice she was slipping. And I'm like, huh, okay.
Yeah, and apparently she lied to Richard O'Brien that she was a tap dancer. That's why her tap dancing scene is so shocking, because she has no idea how to tap dance. I don't know about today, but at the time she had no idea. So, there we have that one.
I was kind of wondering, I'm like, why did they put a tap dance routine in this when she can't tap? Well, that explains it now.
Yeah, she lied to Richard O'Brien. I know what else got to top of my head. Oh yes, the Time Warp, which was apparently a last minute addition because the movie was running short, I believe, or I've heard somewhere, and that was the easiest dance that Richard O'Brien had to do to design a perfect easy dance. That's why it's only a few steps. It's a step to the left and a did and all that stuff in the did, and that's malarkey. So there we have that one.
Oh, that's funny.
Let's just wrap this up then, because I think we've got a good hour podcast here. So
yeah.
So like I said, so thank you for listening. Now you can follow us on Twitter at Midnight Mania Pod. Midnight spelled MIDNITE, because somebody stole the fucking Midnight Movie podcast, the bastards. So I had to use these swines. You can follow us on Instagram at Midnight Movie Mania Podcast. And you can follow me on Twitter at Here's Johnny79. And you can follow Spike on Twitter at
Spike Warden 1.
Okay then. All right then. Well, before I forget, would you recommend this to anybody?
Everybody. I would recommend this to everybody. I don't know a single person. I don't have a single friend that has not seen this movie.
Okay then. Yeah, I'm the same actually. Yeah, I would say watch this thing and experience it for yourself, and then if you can, see it in the theater or the cinema.
Don't do it the other way around like I did, because you will be so confused.
Yes. And whatever you do, don't mention you're a Rocky Horror version, because you will be stripped down to your knickers and you will be forced to do the time warp.
That is true. It did not happen to me, fortunately, because I kept quiet. I was a smart dude.
Yes. Thankfully, I was on the 20th row, so thank God I didn't see my hand up going. So now, the next podcast will be Murder by Death, which
I love that movie.
Is a movie I haven't seen in years. A tongue-in-cheek murder mystery starring what the hell is in that again? Miss Marple, I believe, or the actor, not the actor, and I think Poirot's in that also. So I haven't seen this one. So like I says, like us and share us and such, and if you want a movie covered, then just tweet it to us and we'll get back to them. All I can say now is bye.
Bye.